Hi everybody, Jocelyn Florence Astrologer, and welcome very much to my take on Neptune and Saturn's conjunction on the world axis. And I'm calling this one Dissolving Illusion That We May Dream a New Dream. Now, as Neptune sits on the world axis conjunct Lord Saturn, in harmonious aspect to both Pluto and Uranus, we enter a new beginning of the greatest magnitude humanity, certainly in recorded history, has ever seen. We stand now in 2025 at that very threshold. As Neptune moves between her lowest to her highest potential from 29 degrees of Pisces to 0 of Aries, a whole new comprehension is dawning. The question being, how do we tune into the higher and let go of the lower? Now, Lord Neptune is Lord of the ocean, and he represents the veil. Consider yourself swimming in the vastness of the sea. Above the water, there's one truth, one world prevails. And yet simply by, going beneath the waves, we enter a completely different yet parallel reality with different creatures. It operates with different rules. Everything's a bit foggy and confusing, and things can be hard to grasp. A fleeting flash in the distance. This is a place of depth and illusion, where the old certainties no longer function and unknown realities prevail. Such is the energetic of a Neptune transit, which we're all experiencing with rocks on at this time and for the next couple of years. As both Neptune and Saturn pass at this critical 29 degrees of Pisces and over the world axis, which is the absolute cardinal point of endings and new beginnings for the world and for us all. The significance and power of this transit really is impossible to overstate. This is bigger than 2020, with only one thing being certain, that after 2025, nothing will ever be the same again. So 2025 finds Neptune and Saturn kind of hovering between these 2 points, with finally making their decision. I think it's the 24th of January next year, where they actually combine. So when they're at 29, when they're at 29 degree Pisces, we tend to feel stuck in the worst of the old systems, unable to find our way forward. And with their movement into Aries, which they both are right now, Saturn moved in on the 24th of May, we're able to more able to dive into the new with this incredible new opportunity for beginning lasting until 2027. And beyond, with the outer planets involved. Now, Neptune and Saturn, they're opposites. Neptune is the planet of spirit, of ether, of dreams, and of magic. He rules Pisces, the old age, and everything intangible, where Saturn is actually the planet of solidity and structure. He rules both Capricorn and Aquarius, the new age. And he also rules that everything that's concrete, solid, and reliable. So with both of these two at this incredible astrological turning point, the old structure, or perhaps only our delusions about the old structure, is about to be dissolved big time. And we can see that happening. So it's rather like, it reminds me, there have been times in my life when I've actually just been suddenly plunged into deep water and I'm become completely disorientated, and I don't know which way is up or down. And this is one such moment for humanity. The question being not so much how do we sink or swim, but how do we resurface and how do we find our way forward in this completely new version of reality when all our old structure, all the old reliable ways of understanding are simply dissolving before our eyes. And we begin to realize it was all just illusion and sleight of hand. So this can leave us feeling all at sea. So where do we find the positive potential? And this is really absolutely key to my love and respect for astrology, is its ability to help us negotiate life's ups and downs. Because contrary to what we were told, there is a map. And the most wonderful thing about that map is that even when we're uncertain and unsure about where we're going, it can still point us in the right energetic direction. Because every planet has a higher and a lower energetic. And when we understand what that positive higher one is, rather than feeling swamped, we can make conscious choices to encourage and expand on that positive potential. Now, the beauty and the power of Neptune is that enabling us for us to pierce the veil so that we can let go of the old delusions that no longer serve us and open our eyes to this broader, higher vision that he will bring in, a whole new potential version of the world. This is a moment then when what we previously perceived as either magic or illusion becomes science, and the whole new quantum universe just opens up before our eyes. This is the point at which we now stand. How do we integrate? How do we learn to swim in this alien environment? Neptune and Saturn. Now, they've been working their way through Pisces together. Initially, Neptune came through, opening up our spiritual awareness, and then Saturn came along, sort of grounding that awareness and giving us the tools for self-mastery. So we now have the toolbox, we have the tools. And to combine my very mixed metaphors, they may be armbands or a submarine, but we have the understanding that, number one, ether is real. It was one of the 5 elements we were told it didn't exist. It's now recognised as science and called the Higgs field. So as we release these old illusions, we open up our vision to new potentials. As we negotiate these new depths, we're pulled by these strong currents into as yet unexplored areas of life, which wouldn't have opened up to us had we not experienced the old loss. Neptune and Saturn on the world axis at this place of new beginnings for humanity and the world invites us all to step into this new quantum comprehension and take our power and recognize the light, energetic beings we truly are. We now understand that everything is energy and frequency, that we live in a quantum realm where the power of our minds, of our thoughts, and most importantly, of where we place our attention really matters. Was it a particle or a wave? Well, that depends on us and the power of our focus. Attention creates intention. Therefore, Neptune and Saturn questions on the world axis, questions you might be asking yourself are: where do I place my focus? How is my vibration today? And how do I transform my frequency? Because we're collectively perceiving the world in this whole new way. Our newfound Neptunian awareness is allowing us to pierce the veil, and we're exploring a whole new way of playing with energy, of flirting with frequency, of accessing and working with the energetic flows of life, the map of which is astrology. Key here is to consciously let go gracefully of old structures. They're going to dissolve whether we like it or not. Tuning into the higher aspects of Neptune will enable us to intuitively flow into the future we desire. Now, by old world thinking, this is, of course, entirely crazy. I was born in the 1960s as a very Neptunian individual, and my highly tuned emotional awareness and lack of boundaries left me lost, vulnerable, and all at sea. And I would listen to the stories of ancient tribal cultures where those aspects were perceived as gifts. And in my space of confusion, I would wonder how. How does this sensitivity add to our world? How does emotional awareness correspond to psychic awareness? How does intuition work? How do we function within an energetic universe rather than one based on this practical earth-based reality? Well, we're all about to find that out. Neptune's realm is that of the shaman, who has learned to comprehend and tread lightly through these energetic spirit realms, understanding the power of the unseen, feeling his pathway forward, trusting in his knowledge of the divine plan and his ability to tune into it. Neptune and Saturn on the world axis invites us all to become shaman. Now Aries is the leader, the warrior, and no doubt new spiritual leaders will emerge. But more importantly, Neptune and Saturn's fated meeting here is fine-tuning our ability to listen and lead from within. This is the moment when we're opening the potential to all become spiritual warriors. I'm reminded of one of my most profound memories, a time and a place when I slipped unconsciously through the veil and drifted accidentally into this whole alternative perception of the world, a completely different state of consciousness. Utterly amazing. I was down in West Cork it's a magical little fairy dell, and a beautiful sunny day, and I just lay back on the ground, surrounded by absolutely nothing, by nature, and I just suddenly fell into perceiving the world as a symphony that I'd never managed to tune into before. I heard it completely differently. It was mind-blowingly incredible and beautiful as these experiences were. I'll try do my best to describe it. So that the wind rustling in the trees was like a background rhythm. All the bees buzzing was like they were provided the bass notes for the symphony. And each bird knew his moment to tweet and sing. It wasn't random. It organized beautiful music that I'd never heard before. Where everything just knew instinctively how to work in time with each other. And everything knew its own place within the harmony of the whole. A musical feast, a dance of life I'd never before perceived opened up before me. I mean, the utter beauty and magic of which words are just unable utterly to convey. And I believe that this is just a small part of this new/old way of perceiving and of living, because we too are part of this magical natural world. And this magical natural world is part of us. We too are a living, breathing part of this incredible symphony of life on this planet. We've simply forgotten how to hear the music. So we've been dancing out of step with our brothers and sisters. Neptune and Saturn transit here invites us all to relearn about ourselves, to explore our inner realms and remember how to work and perceive the energetic flow of life, which when you don't see it looks like magic, when the simple truth is that we've become disorientated and disconnected from source. And the very, very good news is that now is the moment where we are all individually and collectively invited to reconnect. This is the higher energetic of Neptune and Saturn at this major turning point, 0 degrees Aries. A whole new comprehension of the magic of life, a new understanding of the power of the unseen, of the magnetic potentials of thought, of frequency, and how to work in harmony with those unseen things. Key word for Neptune is imagine. And so I encourage you all to imagine with the conscious understanding of the power of your thoughts. And if you're not on board with that one yet, please look at the work of Lynn McTaggart and her intention experiment. Absolutely incredible, where again and again she proved the power of focus group thought in meditation and intention to transform reality, even stop wars. Certainly lessen them. And also, again, the work of Dr. Emoto and the power of consciousness to change water, to change the structure of water. I mean, if we can change the structure of water, we can change the structure of reality, because water is what percentage of this planet? So please, please, I encourage you, please tell me in the comments, because I'm useless at these numbers being very Asperger's and Pisces. So please, please, I encourage you to imagine and dream. Imagine the slowly dawning comprehension of what we can achieve together when we consciously choose to resonate in meditation, combining the power of group mind, group meditation, and intention. Imagine what we could do if we collectively focused on world peace. Imagine what we could do if we collectively work with the natural energies of the earth. Imagine what we could do if we could integrate shamanic wisdom into collective practice. Imagine what we could do if we choose to place conscious healing intention energy into ley lines and into oceans, using that ancient knowledge of power points, of full moons, of solstices and equinoxes to channel the power. Imagine seeing nature as an ally. Imagine how quickly we can heal both ourselves and the planet. We are collectively experiencing a moment of accelerated evolution, a process initiated by self-awareness. Initially, we perceive this on the most fundamental level. Are we focusing on love or fear? And slowly, as we gain inner awareness and begin to consciously control both our emotions and our internal dialogue, as we weed out the negative, self-defeating thought patterns, we automatically raise our own frequencies and also of those around us. This is the revelation. The return and the recognition of Christ consciousness within each and every one of us, the comprehension of our own power, the power of the heart and of love, both within and without, the power to manifest miracles. As we vibrate at this new level of consciousness, like attracts like, and the more we work on it, the more new possibilities we attract. Vast new vistas, whole new dimensions of reality open up like magic before us, expanding the potential for our dreams to become true. As we tune into the energetic river of the universe, we naturally perceive our own special place within it. We listen, perceive, and play in a whole new dimension of existence and possibility. This is the potential that awaits us. We simply need to, in key Neptunian words, let go, tune into, and trust in the divine plan. Your psychic instincts and awareness are your best friends, and like muscles, they work better the more you use them. If you haven't already, please integrate a personal spirituals practice into your everyday routine. You know, even if it's just looking at yourself in the morning and going, "Good morning, I love you." And most importantly, be aware where it is you are placing that magically powerful gift of your attention. Remember, attention equals intention. We are at the point of turning between the ages, the moment where spirituality of Pisces and the science of Aquarius meet. Here we can recalibrate humanity by tuning ourselves into the higher frequencies now available. Here we can reconnect, tuning into a new frequency, perceiving the symphony so that we can dance in true harmony with all of our brothers and sisters within the universe, be they human, plant, animal, or divine. Thank you very much, guys. I'm very interested to hear how this amazing transition is going for you. Are you really feeling the spiritual potential of this Neptune-Saturn conjunction? Where are you placing your focus? Please let me know in the comments below. And thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Much love, Jocelyn.